I'm Mark Saxton. This is Back to the Drawing Board. Thanks for joining me. Another lovely weekend of football, and that was a great holiday set of sports there. I think it's funny that LeBron thought that the NBA's ratings were going to be way better since it's their day, and football blew them out of the water. We all knew it would. Nonetheless, love Christmas football. I think it was fun. I think it's going to be awesome if they could continue that this upcoming set of weekends. If your team is given a bowl game like Oprah handed it out, I'm sorry. I'm probably still going to watch it, but that sucks. I know my team was one of them, LSU. So it's a bummer. It is what it is. I do like the playoff expansion. I think they've got some kinks to work out, obviously. I like giving more schools an opportunity. I think they're going to have to work during the during the season schedule a little bit better. Um, it's just one of those things. It's going to take time, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and talk about the playoff. Penn State, Boise State, taking place on New Year's Eve. I'm taking Penn State. I think their defense is going to be too much. Um, Taking place on New Year's Day, Texas and Arizona State. Sorry, Arizona State. Obviously, I'm rooting for you. I'm in Arizona. I wouldn't mind, not that I'm a fan, but I wouldn't mind seeing you win. I think that Texas team is too big. I don't think it's going to happen. Um, it just it's one of those things where ASU kind of hasn't played really who Texas has played. I think they're going to get exposed. Oregon and Ohio State. I think it's Oregon's year. I think Oregon's going to blow Ohio State out of the water. Georgia and Notre Dame. I don't think that one's going to be as much of a blowout as everybody thinks, but I am still taking Georgia. I don't think Notre Dame has enough in the tank. I think it's going to be interesting. I I think it's going to be Oregon and Georgia, or Oregon and Texas. So we'll see, though. Never know. I think I'm excited, though. I think this year in college football has just been awesome for ratings. I think the expansion, whether you loved it or hated it, I think that drew in a lot more. And everybody can argue which school should have been in and which school shouldn't have been in. Yeah, we could talk about the blowouts. I mean, we could talk about, you know, all of that stuff. It's first year. They got kinks to work out. I think they're on the right path. My personal opinion. That being said, so moving on to the NFL, where pretty much playoffs are set. Um, you got the Bills and the Chiefs on top of the AFC. You've got Baltimore, Pittsburgh, the Chargers, and Denver. Pretty much more than likely. On the NFC side, obviously, the Lions, the Eagles, and the Vikings. The Packers and the Rams, more than likely, and either the Seahawks or the Commies, probably both. That the NFC South, it's kind of hard. I want to give it to the Bucks. Penix Jr. looked pretty good last game. Kind of a new spark in the team. We'll see what happens. But let's go ahead and jump into Week 17 football. And on Saturday, the Chargers play the Pats. Remember, winning in Broncos and Bengals, same thing. And the Cards and Rams. Now, I think that one's going to be a battle, but I am giving it to the Rams. I think the Rams are going to end up taking that division. I think that the Rams having the Cardinals and then the Seahawks is going to be extremely tough. Two division rivals to end the year. But the Seahawks don't have it that much easier. I mean, they've had a rough couple of games as it is with the last few opponents. I mean, drawing the Packers and then having to go ahead and turn around and play the Vikings, two very tough opponents, and they're obviously chasing the division. So that's tough. barely taking the Bears in a fucking snooze fest on Thursday Night Football last night. Absolutely atrocious. I think a game like that sends two different messages, right? Either A, they're dragging ass at the end of the season and it's not looking so hot, or B, hey, it's time to wake up. You barely beat the Bears. Gotta show in, gotta show up, gotta show out. So who knows what's going on in that locker room? It's going to be very interesting to see how that unfolds, especially with the Rams obviously being the last game of the season. And that very well could determine what's going to happen in that division that night. Um, so some games I'm looking for, obviously the Chargers and Broncos, the clinch, and see what the Rams do. I think once again the Rams are going to win. And then you start off the day, the morning games. I'm not really particularly interested in anything except for the Cowboys and Eagles game, just because it's a division rival. Eagles dropping one against the commies. I think it just might be interesting. Going to the afternoon games, obviously the Packers and Vikings. Both teams are in the playoffs, so it'll be interesting to see how they show out against each other. And then the commies and the Falcons, and the Falcons looking for a division. The commies looking to seal their spot in the playoffs. Jaden Daniels having a hell of a run. I think this is going to be some fun football. Obviously, um, with the Falcons making the quarterback change, I think it's going to be extremely interesting to see what they come out with that new spark. Obviously, like I said, Penix Jr. coming out and doing his thing last week. I think once again, this is going to be fun football. This is a Sunday night game where the NFC South is extremely, in my opinion, behind the times when it comes to the NFC conference. The Buccaneers could very well be a pesky team in the playoffs, and the Falcons have a chance to ruin some dreams there by taking the division. And who knows, if Penix finds himself on a hot run, maybe like that year with Colin Kaepernick taking over for Alex Smith. I mean, maybe look out for the Falcons. It's going to be interesting. This is the kind of football, I think, in this time of the year that everybody has to kind of watch their back. Once again, like I was saying last week, everybody's kind of written it off to where it's like, hey, the Lions, Eagles, the Bills, Chiefs. I'm at that point of the season where it's like, hey, one mistake can send your ass home. One miscalculation can ruin a drive. One drive can ruin a game. And I think these are the exact teams I was talking about that should be saying, hey, why not? Why not our turn? And then Monday Night Football, Lions and Niners, going to wrap up the week. And the Lions are another interesting thing. They're really banged up. I don't understand how a team can be so banged up and still find ways to win. I think good on Dan the Man Campbell, good on that squad. 13-2, hell of a season. We'll see how much they can rest up. Who comes back in the postseason to do what? But that front seven really banged up on that defensive side of the ball. And those are the games that I have in lock for this weekend. I think being that the season's wrapped up, it's still going to be some exciting football. Once again, that AFC side, it's gonna be fun to watch. I mean, a lot of young teams, a lot of young quarterbacks, a lot of young receiving cores, kind of working hand in hand, and then you got some experience on the defensive side of the ball for every team. And once again, like I said, this should be the time of the year. Hey, why not? Why not us? Why not get it figured out? Why not take it in and ruin someone's season at the point where everybody had you written off? This is going to be a great time for football. Buckle up, and let's go into the back to the drawing board bets, where this is going to be. I'm gonna go ahead and make a safer set of bets because I'm still not confident in all my picks, but I'm gonna be taking the Chargers over the Pats, taking Denver over Cincy. I'm taking LA over the Cardinals. I'm taking Philly over Dallas. I'm obviously taking my Packers over the Vikings at this time of the year. I'm going to take the commies over the Falcons and Detroit over San Fran. And a 7 leg parlay, $5 wins me $135.64 on DraftKings. So I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, you can have your boosts and everything else, kind of make that go a little bit better. I think that's going to be a fun 7 leg parlay to watch. It's going to make at least a few of those games more interesting for me. So we'll see how it pans out. Once again, I'm Mark Saxton. Check me out on all the platforms, and thanks for joining me again. Brought to you by 52 E5280 Sports.